Hey there, hockey fans. Welcome to 97 Octane Hockey, featuring our dynamic trio of hosts, Kirk Morris, Bob Schmidt, and Mike Dursa. The boys are cranking up the heat on Oilers talk, bringing you the hot takes from power plays to hat tricks, with special guests and insider insights. It's hockey talk that takes the game to a whole new level. Get ready for a wild ride through the highs and lows of Oilers hockey. Buckle up, Oilers faithful. This is 97 Octane Hockey.
Welcome to episode number 39 in another edition of 97 Octane's Monday Night Raw. Tonight, we'll recap the All-Star game in Toronto, and we'll look ahead to this week in Oilers hockey, which tomorrow night they could tie an NHL record for consecutive wins at 17 when they face off against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And then Friday night, they could set a new record with the game against Anaheim. But I think first things first, let's get this All-Star talk out of the way. I didn't have high expectations for All-Star weekend myself, but I was pleasantly surprised with how much I actually enjoyed it. I thought the skills competition this year was a lot better than it's been in years past. I thought it went a little bit long, but I enjoyed it. I thought the events were pretty cool, and other than Nikita Kucherov mailing it in, Justin Bieber's Pokeroo inspired jacket and those jerseys, I thought it was a great display of what everybody could do. Unlike Frank Saravelli, I was not mad that Sidney Crosby skipped the draft and went to Yellowstone National Park and an outdoor rink in Montana and cleared his mind, because I thought on Sunday when his team was playing, he played really well. He's still one of the best in the game, and I appreciated him sort of, passing the torch on to the new guys. What do you guys think? Kirk, you can go first, and then Bob.
Well, yeah, like he has nothing left to prove when it comes to that stuff. He's 36 years old, and I think, he's climbed all the mountains several times. Like, and then to go on social media and blast him, put him on blast, like just silly. Like, and I said it on my Twitter, like, take an L and just take a lap. Take a lap, boys, because you blew a tire with that one. But I'm going to be quite honest. I did not watch 1 minute of the actual All-Star games. I did, however, watch the skills competition, and I got to agree with you, Durst. I was thoroughly entertained. It didn't have too many lull points, like where you're just looking at your watch saying, "Hurry up," and I got to eat my supper type of deal, but. I got a kick out of Kucherov mailing it in there too. Like, he blew a tire there during the accuracy, or I forget which one it was, but he had slow motion there. Just like the game froze up on him, like in an actual EA Sports game. He just said to hell with it, and I loved the fans booing at him there too. Just playing it, just soaking it in, being the villain. But I don't know about you, Bobby, but like I said, I didn't even watch 1 minute of the draft, and I didn't watch 1 minute of the actual games.
I watched it all, so I am that guy who watched it regardless. I just like seeing so many great players, all together at once. I like seeing how they interact with each other more than actually just some of the other stuff they're actually doing on the ice. Just who's talking to who's hanging out with who. You see. When Connor Bedard showed up out of the blue there a little bit, and him and Sidney Crosby are sitting together and chatting, like I love that stuff like that. I feed off that stuff. They're always trying to change things, twist things up a little bit here and there, and try and make it more exciting. And this year, I think that it's good. I mean, if they do it this way, like 4 years in a row, we're gonna get tired of it, right? So they're always looking to change it and tweak some stuff. So I'm glad they got the players' input. some other things they wanted to add. The 3-on-3 was pretty good too, but I do like it how towards the end of one of those games they start getting a bit competitive. Like that semifinal game with the McDavid team coming back and scoring 2 goals in the last minute. That was pretty cool. Like that was pretty exciting. I love the draft format. I thought if anything, the draft this year went a bit long. Just a lot of that. It had some audio issues and also sort of stuff that kind of dragged on a bit. But I like the draft format itself.
A little too much artist intervention too. They didn't need that much. Like just go through the draft, pick everybody, play a song, and go home. For those of you that didn't see it, I got kind of the most important parts of it here for you.
Predators the highest registered speed in game action, which shouldn't be any surprise. Connor McDavid looking to beat the Barzell time of 13.519, and he does. And with Makar stumbling, it's a chance for McDavid to take charge. 2 for 2, 3 for 3. He's perfect enough. His fastest skater win. And thinks his game still has another level this season. 29:038, the time to beat.
All good crossover though. Turned a little quick.
Maybe close. Maybe not that close. 25-7-5-5. So Cale Makar is the leader. Connor McDavid. Oh, fumbled that. So there's a bit of a shaky start. 43-4-3-5. And again, this.
There you go. 2, 3.
Well, that was cleanly done. And McDavid looks like he's in charge. Just seconds away from $1 million payday. Connor McDavid just has to hit that target. And there it is, $1 million shot.
That might have been the reason why he didn't have a lot of gas in the last game. I mean, some of those events kind of went on for a while, and might have took more out of him. I mean, Matthews and Marner and most of the crowd from that other team weren't that far along in those challenges, so that might have actually took a little bit of a toll on him. I don't know if you guys saw Leon's little interview after. I should have clipped it too. It was fucking hilarious. He's like, how about the accuracy? Well, it wasn't very accurate. And just
I laid an egg, he goes. I laid an egg.
Yeah,
the dry German humor.
It was good. I think they had a good time. You know, and then yesterday they came back and had a late practice. I think it was like after supper time, around 7 or 8 last night. I think they were on the ice, which is kind of out of the ordinary, but maybe that's them trying to be, you know, kind of alive when they play tomorrow night at 8 o'clock too, just to kind of get that muscle memory back to being on the ice at night and familiarized with it. Kane missed that practice out with an illness, but he was back on the ice today. So lines, I think, looked basically the exact same as where we left off, with Skinner getting the net tomorrow with the chance to tie. And I wonder if I don't want to get too far ahead here, but if it is Friday with a chance to break it, if they give Skinner the call again, and then go to Pickard in LA, or if they're not even thinking about the streak and they're just thinking about carrying on, and Pickard gets the call in Anaheim and then back to Skinner, but probably depends on what happens tomorrow.
I like the fact that they had I'm just like, I'm itching for them to get on the ice again. I'm ready to watch some Oiler hockey again. But it is kind of nice to they had this little 2-day break before they play, because like yesterday's practice, the after supper one, was just a light practice, touching pucks, kind of like that, and getting your feet going. And I guess today they skated quite a bit. Whereas other teams, like I know Toronto and the Islanders are playing today, so they must have had, you have to choose what kind of practice you're going to have, right? Kind of thing. Where here we get the luxury of having two. The weird thing is, though, like, so we play now tomorrow, which is great. We're back in the saddle again, and then we have another 2-day break before playing again. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Feed me my Oilers hockey. I'm starving.
The back-to-backs start to pick up this month. I think there's quite a few of them. So, early to start this month, I think you need to make some hay just in case you go into a little bit of a lull. You need some cushion because we're still trying to climb our way up the standings here.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, man, but they've got 8. They've got the most back-to-backs now from now till the end of the season. They've got 8, and it's a very condensed schedule in some areas. I think the last 10 days, I think they play 7 or something like that, something ridiculous, which I think is a little high. But anyways, it's just weird the way that the schedule kind of worked out. Like as you said, like they play tomorrow night and then they don't play till Friday. It's just really weird, but it's a nice way to settle back in, like after having 10 days off if you didn't go to the All-Star break, right? So.
Well, we have the least amount of games played too of any organization right now, right? So like we're dead last in games played. So we have so many games in hand. But yeah, like you were saying now, Kirk, like we're gonna get that condensed schedule now with a bunch of back-to-backs. So herein lies the question now. Now let's see what we got, right? I mean, because we're gonna see Pickard more now, like especially these back-to-backs. Skinner's already got a pretty heavy workload, so this will be actually a really good chance for Pickard to kind of show that we don't need to go find another goalie. We're fine with me being the number 2 guy. Like, give me some playing time. Let me show you what I can do.
Do you think that anywhere down the road necessarily soon? And I'm sure I'm going to get a few eye rolls here. Whoever's watching behind the scenes, they're watching us talk about this, but there's rumblings here on social media about Jack Campbell making a return. Do you figure? Because he's playing damn good. He's playing damn good on the farm.
He's playing damn good. And you know what? I think we will have the opportunity to see him again because we do have this a crammed up schedule now. So Pickard will get his starts, but why not? Why not bring Campbell into one of these back-to-backs on to the back end of one? I mean, let's face it. I think he's earned it. Like he is. Oh yeah. He is shutting the door all of a sudden down there.
He literally stole the starter's job there from Ollie Rodrigue. He hasn't been lights out, but he has been good when called upon there. I think he stole one there in Texas, shut the door there in the third period there, I think on Friday night. But it's amazing what a different mindset. I think it may be a different goalie coach to deal with there in Sly Rodrigue, maybe. Maybe just I heard the guys asked or talked about it there on the broadcast there between the Leafs and the Islanders there tonight. Getting that reset in there. The same thing with Samsonov. He just got a bigger reset. And I'll say it. I said it once and I'll say it again. It's in between his ears. That's the biggest thing he had to work on. And I think maybe he's a changed guy now. Like he's found that template finally.
I don't think you think about that call up though until there's a little bit of a hiccup here. There's no reason to right now. You let him just keep percolating down there. But like I was saying before, if he gets to a 940, does that still translate to about a 920 in the NHL? And if so, that's pretty good goaltending. I
think you look beyond a number, like just seeing for how he's been playing. Even like he's been solid. So, but I think you're right though, Durst. I think that now's not the time. Obviously, like we're on a heater. Both our goalies are playing really well, but the schedule is going to get pretty full here, and I don't think the Oilers. I don't think we want to just throw away a $5 million contract here. Let's. A contract that big, we got him for a reason. It's a 3-strike you're out rule. I think he's had 2 strikes last season, at the beginning of this season. So one more here, and let's see what he's got, down the line, and then we'll see what we do with this contract.
I think if the opportunity arises where you can trade him rather than buy him out, you take that route for sure.
Well, then how about that then? So we call him up and we showcase him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How much of a road are you going to showcase though? That's the question, right? Because I think. Well, I was just going to say, with this winning streak, I don't think you mess with the current formula,
No.
but it is going to come to an end eventually.
You know what? A scenario that I don't think anybody's touched on is I could see that nothing happens with Jack Campbell until the playoffs. Then they call him up so they don't have to risk losing Calvin Pickard, because I believe you can carry 3 goalies in the playoffs. Am I right?
Yeah. There is no salary cap during
that's
playoffs.
That's kind of what's in my head, is that that becomes a distinct possibility that the time that he gets recalled is basically at the playoffs.
Or also, once we clinch a playoff spot, not maybe another time to bring him up for a couple of games there, to give him some NHL games.
Do you fear though losing Calvin Pickard on waivers, because he would have to clear waivers to be sent back down? So is that a fear?
It'd have to be the right set of circumstances, like I think Kenny Holland's gun shy about losing another goaltender on waivers, like what happened there with Forsberg, right? Once bitten, twice shy. So I think, well, you take a look around the league there right now, there is a few goaltenders hurt, but I don't think anybody's in really dire straits yet, at least not until the trade deadline. But
Carolina is, but they got Freddie Anderson coming back now, but their goaltending is hurting.
They're Philadelphia Flyers.
Flyers might be a little good now.
Yeah, but Don Waddell there and Eric Tulsky have always been stingy with their goaltending, and I don't know why when it comes to Carolina, pardon me, but take another third stringer, like it just
exactly.
Yeah,
you're looking for more than just and let's face it, Pickard still is a backup goalie, so you're looking for more than that right now in those places.
Oh, for sure.
So I guess this is a good segue too to touch on Broberg. I think it's kind of the similar situation. I don't think he gets a recall really until the playoffs as well. And it's been tossed around where you could trade Kulak and then you look for a 7th defenseman, but why? Kulak comes alive in the playoffs and he's playing good hockey right now. So to me, that's just silly. It's nonsensical talk. Like, if you're going to address things, address other areas. Jake Gensel's name is being tossed around pretty heavily, and I like the player, but this morning on 1260 EST, they were saying, getting Jake Gensel, does that make getting a Stanley Cup a lock? Well, I don't think, honestly, there's anybody available that acquiring makes a Stanley Cup a lock. There's a lot that needs to go your way in order for that to happen, no matter what team is wheeling and dealing at the deadline.
Well, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Maybe it's a little bit premature here to ask, but we are in that section of the season where it's not trade deadline day, but it's trade deadline season.
Yeah.
Where do you guys see like the Oilers, wheeling and dealing? Maybe it's don't break the bank, but do you get a supporting cast member just like with years past, or do you push all your chips in and literally go for it? What do you guys think?
Well, I do think we go for it, and we are in that window, so we do whatever it takes now to win. My biggest thing would be like to get a guy like Gensel, like the asking costs would be insane. Broberg is a pretty good pretty good chip to have and let's face it, right now for the other team that we have right now, we don't need Broberg right now. Yeah, he's definitely a guy that we need that we're looking to utilize in the future. We were hoping to be able to use him now, but he just hasn't been able to find his NHL game yet. He's lighting it up on the AHL. That's another guy who really comes alive down there, and he's like their number one D man and plays in all situations. And that's kind of what we're hoping will eventually translate to NHL. But for as good as our 6D guys have played right now, and they have been locked in right now, we don't even have room for Broberg, and we don't need him right now. And he might be one of those blue chips that we can use to in a trade that we get somebody of substance. But I do think we're an all-in situation. Like we have
you
the
know,
team, we have the personnel, whatever we need.
if you're going into the playoffs and knock on wood that it doesn't happen, but one of the top 6D goes down, do you feel comfortable bringing Broberg into the fold, or would you go Gleason or Niemelainen or Phil Kemp or a different route to fill that in? I think for me it depends who goes down out of those 6 guys. I mean, I kind of like the dynamic of having a strong skating, puck moving guy paired with a guy that can handle sort of the physical aspect of the game. Like, you know, CC complements Nurse, Ekholm complements Bouchard, Kulak complements Desharnais. So, you know, depending on who it is that goes down, I would think about bringing Broberg. But if it's one of the other big meaty kind of guys, then maybe he's not the guy. But I just like the idea of having a little bit of coverage on your D in case something happens, and I think we're in good shape there.
Yeah, like you do have suitable options. Like nothing, star caliber quality, but it's really hard to say. Like, do you? It just goes into the fact that Broberg doesn't have the greatest track record when he is in the show, but you got to learn somehow. Like you have to cross that bridge at one point and just say, you know what, I'm just going to go out and play my game. And I think with having Coffee on the bench there now, with that calming presence, and just tell him, say, hey, kid, just go out and play. We're going to stick you on the third pairing. We don't want you to move the earth or anything. And even with Mark Stewart there, I think he'll have a calming presence there too, especially when it comes to the special teams. Like as you said there, Bob, he's playing in all situations on the farm. That's going to come into play when he does have to, have that chance in the show, with the big club. And who knows, maybe he can turn that corner finally and get that confidence. Because I think, just like Campbell, I think he has a confidence issue when he does play on the big club, and it shows. Like he's a little hesitant with his puck, passing and whatnot there too. And, all it comes with experience. Like once it finally clicks in, I think he'll be an awesome player. But to trade him, I think that's a little premature. Like you should see, just like Campbell, you should see where you're at with Broberg as well.
So one of the things you mentioned, Kirk, was experience. So Broberg, for as young as he is, on our farm team right now, he might be one of the most experienced guys on the farm team for NHL experience, though, as well, right? So anybody else we call up probably has less experience than Broberg.
I don't know. Like, where's Gleason stand there? Like, I know Nemo has a little bit of experience there with the club, but Gleason's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. At least from what the service that he has provided for us, I thought he's been pretty well. He was pretty decent there in training camp, but I know it's a different animal here right now, right? So
yeah.
But I from what I've seen there, like from the reports on the farm, he's done pretty good. And the real sleeper, from what I read there from Bruce Kurlock, we might have a diamond in the rough there with Max Swammer. It just I've seen some of the highlights there when they played in Texas. He scored a goal, and it was actually scary. Like everybody was in the right positions, and he just jumped up in the play. Kind of Nurse-esque, so to speak, and he rifled one there top cheddar, and I was impressed, man.
So I just checked the NHL games experience there. Gleason has 6 NHL games. Niemelainen has 43, and Broberg's like 79.
Okay, there you go. Well, I'm eating shoe leather on that one. So,
touch on that comment there by Kawadi. Chances of Pickard getting picked up if on waivers, I'm going to say there's probably about a 25% chance that he'd get claimed.
That's a pretty high number, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, and to me, I wouldn't risk it.
But that's for teams that are looking for. So we're probably looking past the Carolinas and the Phillies that we mentioned, that were, at that point, you're looking for maybe somebody like Colorado was looking for, a stronger backup role or something like that. So
And here's another little, little wrench in the machine there. Do you think LA takes them? Because they're having goalie troubles right now too.
funny, yeah, that's one of the teams that came to my mind as well on that one.
I don't know if Pickard's the guy that's gonna all of a sudden save the LA Kings, though. That's a lot to ask.
I don't know. If he
If
gets
Phoenix
a chance,
Copley could do it last year, anybody can, I guess.
Exactly.
I guess I'd be remiss too if I didn't say congratulations to Jesse Puljujärvi, who has worked his way back to the NHL and signed a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Penguins. $1.6 million contract. See, Terry Jones, it's not that hard to congratulate somebody instead of shitting on them.
No doubt, eh?
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Slappy Waggle says all the teams that need goalie help, I'd almost go higher than 25%. Yeah, I don't know. He's not a stud goalie by any stretch of the matter, but he's been serviceable for us. I'm gonna give the team some credit though, because I think the way that we've been stifling offense is a big part of why Calvin Pickard has shown so well, and honestly, Stuart Skinner too. The last few games though, Skinner has got us out of first periods where we probably didn't deserve to be in good shape and still be within striking distance of catching teams, but. It's been a while since anybody scored more than 2 goals on us. So
Knobloch actually touched on that today after practice. Because they were asking again, like the common question: were you upset or are you troubled by the fact that we had a break after you're on this streak? And he did mention that the last few games he hasn't really liked the way we've started our games, and we tend to find our games in the third period. So we were winning, which is great. But it wasn't always the best way to win. So maybe this was a good time for a break in this case, where the guys kind of regroup and then go back to how we started the streak as opposed to how we ended the streak.
Yeah, Quaddy says here too. Hate to lose Kulak, but there's some cap savings there to make a move for a forward, and Broberg can adequately take his spot. I'm not willing to make my defense weaker to gain a forward. I think you need Kulak's got good wheels and good size, and has proven that he's durable and can hold up in the playoffs. And yeah, I'll knock on some plastic and I'll pretend it's wood, because I don't want to weaken my defense just to gain some more forward help. This team can score goals. Like I think there's other ways to go about making a deal for a forward, and that kind of brings Jack Campbell back into the equation for me.
But if you want to add that piece or two, you're going to have to let somebody go. Unfortunately, just
it will be a blue chip like Broberg.
Yeah.
But I also disagree with the fact that he mentioned there that Broberg could fill that spot adequately. No, he can't right now, or he hasn't at least. Maybe he can now, but he's had the opportunity before and hasn't. Kulak has shown that he steps his game up in the playoffs. He's been solid here this regular season, but he does take his game up a step in that playoff drive.
I don't have enough faith in Broberg to gamble Kulak and hope that it turns out. Kulak's a proven commodity in the playoffs, and I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, like I said there before, if you run injury trouble, I think he'll step up and take that opportunity. But there's sure a lot of talk around the league there about Oilers really taking a long look there at Sean Walker there in Philly. Just adding that number 7 guy there too. And is he a difference maker? I don't know. I don't think he pushes you over that hump there either. But it's the speculation train is chugging away. Like you might as well take a magic 8-ball or dartboard and predict what's going to happen from now until like the end of the season, right? Because anything can really happen.
Well, the other team I heard too that was looking at Broberg was Anaheim. So then you start speculating, well, who would we get in return for that?
Yeah, that. Oh well,
Zegers.
Henrique maybe.
Zegers.
Yeah.
There's talk that he's going to be gone from there in the summer, so maybe we could expedite the process. And although I don't know if I want that.
No.
So we'll segue, I guess, into our commercial break, and we'll be back in just over 3. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back fairly soon. Thanks for being here for the first half of our show, 97 Octane Hockey. It's your passion that fuels our game. We will be back in 3 minutes to refuel after the fastest commercial on ice.
I'm Connor McDavid.
How would you describe your game?
I think just speed. I think that's the main thing. My game is all about speed. Speed with the puck. I think a lot of guys have a tendency to, when they get the puck, slow down and want to look for a play and all that. But I think if you could do all that, all with skating, it makes it pretty dangerous.
Edmonton Oilers would like to select with their first pick from the Erie Otters, Connor McDavid.
Under pressure, no more time. Can we make a move? Overthinking, you and I. What do we have to lose? 'Cause I'm wasting all my time thinking of the things we could do. If you gave me one more sign, I could find a way to break through, a way to break through.
Man, it's hard to follow that guy every time. You know, the only event he probably will never win at that skills competition is the hardest shot. But to think the guy won fastest skater, I think, what is it, the 6th time now? And,
no, 4th time, but still the best of anybody. Yeah.
4th time, yeah. And the accuracy shooting, he's went 12 for 12, I think it is, at the All-Star game. That is unbelievable, yeah.
Insane.
I mean, we are blessed to witness that guy on a night in, night out basis, and you know, he's the reason this is really called 97 Octane Hockey. It's a play on number 97, and it sounds like gasoline, I guess, and plays into the Oilers kind of whole theme. But yeah, I feel blessed to be living in a timeline where I get to watch him and Leon Draisaitl and all the guys on the team now, and have lived through the 80s with Wayne and Yari and Mess and all those guys, and Koff behind the bench now, and crying about the old boys club. I hope they get it done so we can put that finally to bed. Like people that know hockey, and that's really all that matters. This is kind of where I've always come from. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
How about
it's
the
that
fact
old.
that?
Oh, sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that old rhetoric there of the old boys club that just drives me absolutely bonkers. Like just let it go already. It's been how long? It's been like 35 years, or no, I should say 35 years, but a good 30 years. Like it's just. I think it's kind of remnants of the decade of darkness, right? And just having everybody in the same group and whatnot.
Who runs Calgary?
Yeah.
who runs the LA Kings?
Oh yeah, and look where they're at, right? It's just
I mean, really outstanding franchises usually will get people that have played with that franchise to come back, and I mean, you're wearing a Red Sox hat. Boston was always that way. I mean, the Boston Celtics were always that way. Chicago Bulls are that way. I mean, you look throughout different sports, and it's kind of that's what happens. They come back. It's almost like your college and your alma mater. You come back and you support the university. Well, it's the same thing with pro sports franchises. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if one day David Beckham is back at Man U. And
yeah.
Well, these legends, like these old boys, they have such a passion for that team, and also I think it's also ways that they kind of they give back. This team has given them so much that they want to give back, and they want to help, and they want to help this franchise achieve those great things that they know, the city and the fans need and want.
Yeah, I mean, they're called organizations for a reason. They're a lot like fraternities. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of the way they work. Are you guys nervous about tomorrow?
No, excited.
I'm just happy that we're playing hockey again. It seems like it's been forever, it's kind of like that lull there right after the playoffs are done. It's just like, and then, about mid-July, you're just chomping at the bit for something, just anything. And it's been a long enough break. And I actually looked online there and you know what, Bob? I'm sorry to backpedal a little, like 2 seconds here with the goaltending. I think there is something with Colorado. They might stick their necks out for Pickard there too, because I just looked at the lineups there tomorrow night, and Justus Annunen is their backup right now. It's not Prosvetov, so maybe they do stick their necks out. But anyways, yeah, I'm curious to see how the first period will shake out. Like get the shake off the rust if there is going to be rust, but. I think they'll be fine. I'm not nervous. Streaks are made to, be broken just like records. And if it happens tomorrow night, so be it. I'm happy for the boys of what they've done here in the last 6 weeks. And if it carries on, so be it.
I was a little bit nervous for that one for Dasher's prediction of running the table of January to come true, that the very last game of that, but they managed to get through that, and here we are. It's like I'm a player again, though. I am kind of got an anxious feeling about it, but as a player, that usually leads to good things because you end up having extra energy and kind of a little bit more about you when it comes game time. So. I hope they can. I hope they can do this because I was getting chirped way back when it seems like forever ago when we played Montreal, and we beat the Canadians and oh, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, and here they are. And he didn't realize that I think it was like a 35 game unbeaten streak for the Philadelphia Flyers, but it wasn't a consecutive win streak. Like there was a couple of ties or something mixed into that. So. They're on the verge of history, so I hope they can.
No, it's not even the verge. They already made history. Like they already tied for, for the longest one. So,
no, tomorrow they tie the NHL record.
Yeah,
tomorrow
but the fact
that they have the record right now. They have the record now for most consecutive wins for a Canadian franchise.
Yeah. But the fact you're even top 3 of that thing, like you've already made history. And I'll be honest, like for me, the streak is awesome, but I feel like I can understand the mindset of the players here. Like it's not even about the streak; it's about the wins. These are needed wins all the way through that they've had to have. If we end up losing tomorrow, which I don't think we will, if we end up losing tomorrow, it's not. I'm not going to mourn the streak. I'm going to mourn the loss. Right? Let's just start stringing wins together. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, it's about how quickly you can get back in the win column for me. And really, I think for these guys, it's about a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, these guys, and I know they all say all the words during their, press conferences, what have you, but I do think they believe it. I don't think they're focused on the streak. Yeah, they know it's there, but they're just focused on getting the win, and ideally you want an 82 game streak in a season. That's and that's what you strive for when you begin the season. So any loss puts a wrench in that plan. So you just start stringing together as many as you can.
With the quote unquote second half of this season kicking off here already, at least for us here tomorrow, what would you guys like to see the most out of this group going to make that push for the playoffs here?
I think they have the formula of what it takes to win hockey games. Just rinse and repeat. Keep duplicating what you've been doing. The power play could pick it up a little bit, but I'm content with the way they're playing. Just keep it going.
Whatever it takes for wins. If I'm going to be nitpicking, which is really what we're doing, when you're looking at the heater we're on now, we're nitpicking what we want to see more of. I agree with you, Durs. I would like to see the power play be a bit more effective. But like the selfish part of me too is I do want a bit more offense. I don't want to concentrate on offense and then stay away from the game plan because our game plan is working. And I love how committed they are to it, and how they don't stray from it, and how they don't seem to ever lose sight of the end goal, whether they're down by 2 or what have you. I'd still love to see, 5 goals a game, 6 goals a game here and there, right? But that's, again, like I said, that's nitpicking. 2 points, that's all that matters every game. 2 points.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Bob. I know it's like splitting hairs at this juncture, just trying to make something out of nothing. We're going to talk about nothing till nothing is not good enough, right? So I'm with you. I would like to see a hair more offense, especially on the power play, but just balance. Just maintain the balance that they have here right now, especially on defense. Like goals are going to come. And it generally comes in bunches, but when they don't, just lock it down on the other end and just keep doing what you're doing.
I'm going to take a little opportunity here to promote Bobby's page for the Heavy Hockey once again. It should come up here. So Bob and I are once again playing in the Heavy Hockey Showdown on the same team again, hopefully holding the trophy again and taking another picture. And I'll try to make it look so I'm taller next time, because I don't know what the hell happened here. But so February 24th, we do a silent auction, raffles, and kind of a pregame party in the afternoon. And then that night, the Oilers play the Flames, another Battle of Alberta. And I think the party keeps going. But some of us will be going to the actual game. And then Sunday on the 25th, we have our Heavy Hockey Showdown with Rob Clark singing the national anthem, and Hunter will be there, and we take on Dusty Nielsen, Tom Gazzola, and I think Matthew Owanek will be in the building. Rumors are he's playing, but I don't know if that's confirmed or he's just going to be there. And the EST crew, and there's a QR code for Bob's page if you want to scan that and donate on his behalf to SACE. I'm sure Mr. Bobby would appreciate that, and so would the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, who do all kinds of good work for survivors and need every dollar we can get for them, because the government of Alberta doesn't fund them very well, so they live and die off of our donations. And for every $97 we can provide them. That will provide somebody in need of an hour's worth of counseling time. So once again, there's Bobby's QR code, and you can donate on his behalf, and he would appreciate it.
What time is the hockey game there on that Sunday there, Durst? Do you know offhand?
I believe it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm 99% sure that's what it is.
Well, thanks for throwing that up there. So I appreciate that. I did have, I do know somebody that used that service, and they said it was very life changing to them. I'm kind of hesitant to mention it because, they might be in the same circle. She doesn't really want her name known, but she was okay with me just mentioning it as an anonymous thing to say, yeah, you can mention that you know somebody that used the service, and it was life changing for her. So that made it a bit more personal for me, and as we definitely got it. Yeah, that's incredible. So I appreciate throwing that up there, Durst, and hopefully they get some more traction there.
Yeah, there's a Kirsten Raworth on Twitter who's actually battling cancer right now, but I don't actually follow her, but I saw her story and it was kind of attached to a lot of this, saying that she really appreciates what we're doing too, because she went through a pretty hard situation, and SACE actually helped pull her through and basically saved her life. So it can change people's lives and keep people that might not be around anymore around. So it is a vital service, and they need your help. So that's why we do it. Yeah, I guess I'll throw up my page, just before we get out of here tonight. But thought I'd give you a plug and try to help the cause. And yeah, looking forward to it. Have you been on the ice at all, Bobby? I've been out a couple times just on an ODR, taking some shots and kind of getting the legs moving a little bit. But I'll get a little bit more serious about it as it kind of gets closer.
I do play here in the River Cree Hockey League, in the lower levels, because I am, pushing 80 years old, or at least it looks like when I'm playing. But yeah, that gets me out there, somewhat regularly. So we have a game this Friday, actually, out there. So it's so weird because when I joined this team, like I always play forward. Like since my goalie days are behind me, I play forward. But they need a defenseman, so I've been playing defenseman now for this team for the last couple of years. And I'm definitely more the Vinny Desharnais back there than anything else. But it's fun. It's fun out there skating around. So yeah.
So what you're saying is you're the team seaweed out there.
I am seaweed in more ways than one.
If you and
it's tough to skate through me, but it's also tough for me to skate, and I look green out there.
If you and Hebert end up being defense partners, there won't be any ice for anybody left.
There you go, Twin Towers.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my son Noah's been kind of he's playing sort of, I think, on 2 teams beer league, so he's been playing 3-4 times a week now. So he's out there a lot and playing mostly forward now. But the last showdown he played D, so I'm not exactly sure what's going to go on. But yeah,
I get exhausted tying my skates, but yeah, it's still fun once you get out there.
The first time I got on the ice about a month ago, I think it was at the Ice Palace in West Ed. My right knee was not good at all. As soon as I stepped on the ice, I was like, oh man. And I kind of grunted and groaned through about half an hour, 45 minutes of it. But the last 2 times I went for kind of skate on the ODR around here, I was good. So hopefully the knees will hold up. But yeah, I plan on eating a couple of Advil and soaking down in A535 about an hour before the game. So everything's nice and numb. So even if it does hurt, I don't feel it till later. Getting old.
All right, how about this? Let's get back on track here and make predictions for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Harris, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to say 4-2 Oilers.
I'm going to say 5-4 Oilers in OT.
Oh,
wow.
Amping it up, eh?
Barn burner.
And I'm going to go off the board again here because I think we're going to make a statement this game, streak or not. But I'm saying 4-0.
That would be quite the statement.
especially in Vegas.
Shutting out Vegas in their own barn. Yeah. We seem to have good success though in their barn. Like, I think historically we've got a pretty good record against them in their building, or some memorable moments, anyways. With Nurse winning one in overtime on McDavid's birthday, and I think Vegas will be up for this one though. I don't think it'll be an easy one. I really don't. I think Vegas will want to try to take this away from us, but I think we'll overcome it.
Yeah. And then it's almost like how we started this streak when we had like the Rangers were our second game, right? So at that time they were like top of the charts kind of team. So now we got Vegas, the defending champions, to start. This, let's say, the second half of this streak. So they're up next, and then the rest of our schedule, like our next 4 games, you're looking at Anaheim. LA's been struggling. Detroit's middle of the pack. St. Louis has been struggling. So that's, again, if you look on paper, this should be the hardest part of our next, 3 to 4 games. But that's also where the danger lies in, because you get past that hump of being the best team in your schedule, and then you're not ready for that for the shittier team, and you put your foot off the gas, right?
So it's been a long time since we had any bad real news to discuss on a Monday. So I'm gonna ante up here from Bob's question about Vegas, but are we sitting at 19 next Monday?
Yeah, you're not superstitious at all? Like, you don't want to talk about it, or you do want to talk about it, or
let's fucking put our cards on the table, boys.
Yeah, we are. It's
I'm
65,
gonna agree.
65, 15, and 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree, man. Yes, I hope we're talking about 19 wins in a row next Monday.
Yeah, that's okay.
That would be nice.
You could frame it that way. You didn't cross any superstitious lines with saying, I hope we're talking about 19 or 0.
I don't believe in superstitions at all, and I was a goalie, so I would be the guy who would say shutout if I had let in a goal in 2 periods. I'd be like, yeah, it'd be nice to get a shutout in this one. Let's lock her down. I don't care.
You didn't stand your stick up next to the entrance of the locker room, or stack your pads a certain way, or
nothing at all. I mean, I wouldn't even put on my stuff the same way. The only thing I would do the same way would be like my warm up was the same thing, but that was more just a routine than a superstition. Yeah. Like if I didn't do it the same way, or I missed something in my warm up, that didn't fuck me up or nothing like that. It's just the way the warm up I had mapped out was the best warm up for me. That's all it was. But I know I played with guys with superstitions. I'd have guys that had problems scoring. I'd have to hold their stick during intermission or some crap like that, and then you'd always have those guys that had their rituals of the tap the pad, tap the post, tap the helmet, that sort of stuff, and they do all that before the game. It just didn't matter to me. You do what you need to do, and that was it. But I've never been superstitious at all.
When I played there, I was kind of weird. I would always put my right pad on first and then my left one, but it was strictly out of habit. It wasn't nothing superstitious or nothing. Same thing with tapping the posts. Like it was kind of a beacon thing. Like just checking out your just having a feel for everything, just when you get on the ice, right? Kind of like what Flower does there too. Like I wouldn't say I would go and rub the post and thank them if the post or if the puck went off the post, but yeah, just nothing crazy.
Oh man. I always thought that I wasn't very superstitious, but then I look at the way I do things and it's always the fucking same. And yeah, I don't know.
That's not superstition, man. That's habitual. That's just automatic, right?
But here's the difference though, Dursa. So if you didn't do things a certain way, did you feel off? Did you feel like, I still need to do it? I still need to squeeze it in somehow?
I wasn't sick to my stomach, no.
So that's just a habit. That's a routine. That's not superstition.
Yeah,
so.
But I
it's
gotta
also
ask,
part of. Go ahead.
I gotta ask you though, like you would say shutout and that, but I'm thinking here, if I go on Google and look at the shutout leaders for the IHL, you're not among the top there either. So.
It's a very valid point.
So maybe there is something to it.
Yeah, touche. Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't have a whole lot of shutouts.
So then you get into like evaluating that kind of shit. Like I fucked up because I didn't do this or that, or I did this, and look what happened. And
Yeah,
it's crazy.
shutouts are nice, but the wins were nicer. So
Yeah.
I know there was one that we lost. Well, we won 4-1, and I let in my one goal with 4 seconds left. So that one kind of stung a little bit, but once the disappointment had worn off, then it was just a matter of the point that we won the game. So like by the time I was in the dressing room, I was fine with it. But on the ice, letting in with 4 seconds left, that one stung. That like you.
Mr. Corey Perry, how long do you think he scores before Connor Brown? Here's a fun one.
Oh God. I'd have to say yes. No slant or no slant against Connor Brown. He has played good, man. He's just been snake bitten, like just
he can't, yeah.
Just ringing one off the post. Like it seems like every game, right? He's a few centimeters away from tucking one in. It just. But I hate to pile on, but I think Corey Perry scores one before Connor Brown, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And number one, he'll probably. Well, I don't know. They play about the same amount of minutes, I guess. But I think we'll see Corey Perry on the second power play unit here on the second half of the season occasionally. So he'll have those chances, and just like he is that guy that just knows how to find the net. Like he's been doing it consistently, even on not put up the numbers he did when he was younger, but he's still consistently scoring double-digit goals here after past the age of 35. Like, so he still knows how to do it. Connor Brown, man, feel for that guy.
Something else happened All-Star Weekend. They came up with the announcement that they're going to do a 4 Nations kind of tournament, and going back to the Olympics. And what cued me into that I should talk about this before we close is Crosby behind you, and yeah, your Canada hat. Does that keep Crosby around for a couple more seasons, just so he's in game shape to go to the Olympics, or do we actually miss that opportunity and he retires before the Olympics? What do you guys think? I mean, he's having a hell of a season, but I'm wondering if it's mentally taxing on him with him playing lights out in Pittsburgh, just being in the doghouse. Like that's got to be tough for him, or does he get dealt? I mean, the joke Oilers Nations guy Jay brought up was Crosby to Edmonton, and Tyler Yaremchuk laughed at him, and Jay's like, well, now that we have established that that's dumb, let's see it through. So. What do you think? Does Sid the Kid and McDavid, McKinnon, and all those guys get to play together, or does Sid bow out before then?
I don't think so. I think they'll literally have to use the hook there to get him off the ice. I don't know. He's 36 now, so he'd be 37 next year for the 4 Nations. Yeah, and then 38 for 26 there in the Olympics. So I think 26 is definitely a go, but I think 30 is stretching it. I think he'd be a little bit old for 2030, which allegedly is supposed to be in Salt Lake City, or they're making a push for it there anyways. So I think he would be a shoo-in for the 2026 Olympics. Unless if he suffers like a catastrophic injury to end his career.
Yeah.
What do you think there, Bob?
It's actually amazing that, he kind of got through all the concussion problems that he was having, and it's kind of leveled off for him. And I'm grateful for that, because he's fabulous to watch. But sorry, go ahead, Bob.
No, you're right. That's one thing that's get overlooked, because it's happened so long ago too, right? But that could have shortened an absolutely Hall of Fame career here. Actually, I'm glad you brought this up there, so because that's why I wore that Canada hat today, and I was going to text you today to say, hey, I want to bring up the Olympics, and I totally forgot about it until you brought it up just now. Because that to me was the most exciting news that happened under the All-Star break for me, because I'm an Olympic junkie. I watch everything, but especially when the hockey's on, that's I'm just glued to it. I've actually just been going through. I have the 2010 box set with all the hockey games of Team Canada, women's and men's. I've been watching that periodically, especially with this All-Star break here when there was no hockey on. I think there was a time. I think Wayne Gretzky said this about Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux can play for Team Canada whenever Mario Lemieux wants to play for Team Canada. There's always going to be a spot on that team. I think Sidney Crosby's in that same realm. If Sidney Crosby wants to play in the 26 Olympics, he will play in the 26 Olympics. What role he plays kind of depends how he's playing, at that time in his career. But there will be a spot for Sidney Crosby on that team.
Imagine if he wins another gold medal, and imagine if he wins the Four Nations Cup. Like, Jesus, like you might as well just shoo him in there the following year when he does retire, right? To just give him the limo service. Say, yep, we're gonna go to Toronto. We're gonna give you the full red carpet service here. There you go. There's your spot in the hall right next to Mario and Wayne.
I'm just thinking about the power play you can dole out too, like Crosby, McKinnon, McDavid, Makar, Barzell, Bedard. You take your pick on the other forward out there, but good luck, goalies.
Yeah. I'm so excited for that. It's ridiculous. I hate the fact that it's even a year away. I'm ready for it now. Like this is something we've been missing. This is something that brings the whole countries together, right? To watch this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, you guys have anything else?
Well, now that you touched on it briefly there, I did see that I think the NHL made an announcement that potentially all these young fellows that were involved in this scandal, they're suspended, or Hockey Canada has suspended them.
Yeah.
So everybody that was on that team, they've suspended right now until the investigation has completed. So if we get and right now the trial isn't really scheduled till 2026, right? So now we're getting to that iffy territory. You're losing guys like Cale Makar. Like that's the biggest name that might not be available for the Olympics, right?
And I wonder if there's kind of some legal push and pull from Makar's camp, because you're basically saying he's guilty of something that he hasn't been charged of anything. So that kind of has a bit of a smell to it. Like, I'm sorry, Hockey Canada, but the time now isn't for damage control. It was a long time ago, and you blew it.
Yeah,
that's true. I also want to believe, though, that the internal investigation, if you want to call it that, will be completed before the judicial investigation. So maybe once they narrow it down to saying it was only these guys, not the whole team, kind of stuff, maybe that gets cleared up before it gets that far advanced, and then the focus will be just on the actual individuals involved, as not just guys associated that were on their roster.
Well, if Hockey Canada was a well-run organization, there would be none of this BS happening here right now. And sadly, they've dragged their heels as long as they could, and then you see like the likes of Gary Bettman getting asked questions, and he pulls out the lawyer jargon there too, and it's really disappointing to see.
All right, just now that you went there, we got to take a couple of minutes about Arizona. like he's gonna hang on to that thing until
that's his El Dorado, man. It's literally his El Dorado. That's his last stand. Literally, he will die there.
El Dorado, it's the fucking Alamo.
Or there you go. Sorry, wrong reference, but same difference. Yeah.
No, he's going down.
Finding
guns
gold. You're
a-blazing.
standing put. Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the journalist, but apparently he used to be involved with U.S. government and has high connections with people in Arizona all over the place, and they haven't even begun to gain any ground on a potential site or anything. And this is what, year 2 of Mullet Arena, like playing out of a rink that doesn't even hold as many people as the Red Deer Centrium. I mean, and we're holding NHL games there. Come on.
Yeah, not and Marty Walsh said it best. Like
That's the guy. Yeah.
He's the NHLPA director now, and just
Yeah.
he just said, I'm very disappointed, and it just they're losing so much revenue, like so much potential. Salt Lake City looks more and more promising, as the months pass by, because and if they do decide to move, I guarantee you within 5 years, Bettman will be building a building himself, or he'll be coercing somebody there within Phoenix city limits, saying, "Hey, build me a building, and I'll give you this."
You actually just solved the riddle. Bettman needs to buy the Arizona Coyotes, and that can be his problem, like solely.
That's his
frankly,
retirement plan.
I think I'm more upset that Arizona has won Craft Hockey Bill the last 2 years now. So.
I mean, Grovedale Arena, our next chapter, and only people in northern Alberta will get that reference. But if you go on Google and you type in Grovedale Arena and then look at the images, that's basically me making fun of what the Coyotes are playing in. But it ain't that far off. I mean, we're getting lower and lower in the budget here. So yeah, Gary Bettman, you buy the Arizona Coyotes, and you take all the losses and stop, diverting all the funds from the teams that are actually profitable into that thing to try to keep it going. And let's raise the salary cap and get on with it here. Like, I think that's, yeah, of course the PA guy would be pissed off from that angle, but you can't blame him. I mean, it's a sinking ship, and they just, they just bail it out.
They've taken L's for like the last 20 years. Like,
yeah,
it's time to move on. Like, and you take a look at they're even talking about Atlanta again for a third time.
Yeah, I think that I don't think you can go there again. That's ridiculous. Like, you guys are looking at.
I can understand Houston, because then you'd have that state rivalry between them and Dallas. I could see that happening. But go to Quebec City. Like, it's literally dying for pro hockey, like the top tier pro hockey.
No, like, from a fan love perspective, there isn't anywhere else in North America that deserves a team more than Quebec City. I mean, how long have the Nordique been gone? And you walk around that city, like, if you ever go there, it's beautiful. They treat you really well. Older people there can be a little bit angry at times, but anybody that's kind of 60 or under, as soon as they recognize that you don't have a good grasp of French, they switch to English for you, and they treat you really well. I had a great time there, and I couldn't believe the amount of Nordique stuff that you could find, and like stores, almost like the Oilers store, dedicated to the Nordiques. And I mean, this franchise has been gone forever. Their only problem is that, the population base isn't gargantuan, and so these U.S. markets like Salt Lake and Houston and Atlanta, keep coming up. I understand Houston because, you got the Texas rivalry, and it's a major center. I don't know how Salt Lake would do with hockey. Like, I don't know if that's a major hotbed for the place. Yeah, there's a population base, but I'm not sure. Greater Toronto area would be another place to look at, but they won't, because the Leafs will just snuff it out, even though they can support it. Like, to me, that doesn't.
They can support it. I don't understand that thing. I'd like to see Hamilton get a team. To tell you the truth, I think that'd be my first destination. And there's enough people there, enough passionate hockey fans. You could easily support another team in that area.
And that would be another rivalry. Like, once again, I can't believe he's going to take that to the grave with Arizona. And then there's Quebec City, the polar opposite, pretty much, where people are dying for hockey and nothing's being done there. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And they have the facility. They're ready.
Yeah. They got it. Yeah. Well, it's not brand new anymore, but Center Videotron it's NHL ready.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
No, I'm with you. It makes no sense. that'll be the pimple on Gary Bettman's tenure as a commissioner will be the Arizona Coyotes. I think other than that, he's done a fairly okay job, but it's just a black cloud that hangs over him, and he refuses to do anything about it. Like,
it's not going to be a pimple. It's going to be his hemorrhoids, pretty much, when you stop and think about it.
Or cancer. Yeah, it's going to be the thing that takes him out of the commissioner chair. Yeah, I was being awful generous, I guess, but
yeah. No comment further. No comments further. Oh, it just boils my blood, man. Seriously.
I think they look at, the TV part of it, but you got to have a fucking building. Like,
and you got to have a fan base. The people that were willing to support the freaking team.
Yeah.
And they had that. They had that in Quebec. And they still do.
For sure.
Like, if you go back there, they're gonna welcome you with open arms. You talk about Winnipeg, dire straits for hockey, and then they welcome them back with open arms. I guarantee you, if you walk in there tomorrow, Quebec City, and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a franchise. We're no relocations. We're gonna give you an expansion team." You know how many people would be ecstatic? They'd be retarded, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd have 10,000 season ticket holders, and then just.
And you talk about rivalries. You talk about rivalries. Them and Montreal Canadiens. Oh, they'd be sold out. It'd be sold out forever.
Yeah,
forever.
Put the Adams division back together.
It's hard. It's hard though, to think that it would just pick up from where it left off. I mean, that's been gone for a while.
I know.
The city rivalry is still there, but the team rivalry, like,
if you give them a team like Seattle or even Vegas, albeit, with the expansion rules, it wouldn't take long to be. And with the state where Montreal is at,
I don't
give
mean
them 3 years, and boy, oh boy, that'd be a good smoking rivalry right there.
I'm just thinking, like, if you took a 25, I can't even remember how long it's been, but if you took a 25-year hiatus between the Oiler Flame, would it still be the same?
I think to a certain point, yeah. Like, given the way that things can be built nowadays, with teams and the expansions.
I think what's happened now for Montreal is Boston is their that's their most hated rival. But that city rivalry is still going to be there. So, then maybe the players feed off of that too. So.
I don't think it would be an immediate rivalry, but you would definitely you'd start watering the roots of building a rivalry there again for sure.
I guarantee you, within 3 years, of having hockey back, it'd be the same. It would be passionate.
That could very well be.
French Canadians, they love their hockey, and fans all over the league would love to see that. Like, it would be something else. It would just. I'm thinking way back in 1995 because I'm old school. Like, it just to see something like that happen again, it would just. And like you said there, Bob, bring back the Adams division, bring back the Whale, bring back, Hartford.
No,
make it a true. Yeah, no, bring back the Whale.
No.
I miss those teams, man. I miss those teams.
You've never been to Hartford if you're calling for Hartford to get a team again.
Well, you know what I mean, though, just for nostalgia's sake.
I love the jerseys, but that city is.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't been there. I've been in the vicinity of that area, but yeah. But anyways, just nostalgia for me. Mainly, just with the Nordique and. With the call I say, that was a loud barn from what I was told, when it starts to get rocking there. So it could be the same thing there with a brand new team or even a relocated team. Boy, oh boy, like it just.
I would almost be willing to say that Saskatoon would get a team before Quebec City.
Nah.
And that won't happen.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen. We started early and we ended late.
We covered a wide range today.
And hopefully we are talking about 19 straight come next Monday. And then we inch closer to the actual showdown. So I might look to get Eric Friesen and Lothsberg on next Monday, and then the Monday before I think we've got 2 weeks before that next Monday. We'll look at trying to get Dash and Hebert, I think, here.
Yeah.
I might look at some of the EST guys, but sometimes they're a little bit harder to track down. So, yeah. Hopefully it's 19-0. I'll put my page off, and then I'll play everybody's favorite cool down music. Thanks everybody for watching. And we were chatting before. We're at, I think, 391 followers on TikTok now. People are crazy. We just put a little thing of today's lines, and it'll get 20,000 views. It's oil country, starving for just information about everything and anything.
Yes, sir.
But thanks everybody for watching. So this is my page for SACE, and there's my QR code if you'd like to donate to my page or Bobby's page. Take your pick. We would both appreciate it. And that's Mr. Glenn Maw with me in the trophy there, and the rest of the gang underneath. And I think a bunch of the same cast of characters will be back playing for heavy hockey. And some of the guys that were on the Oilers live team will be a part of the heavy hockey team going against EST in a couple weeks' time. So we hope to see you there. It's lots of fun. It's a great time. One more in the chat here, I think. We'll field before we shut her down. It's probably Name saying 17 is his favorite number. Nope. Just Slappy Waggle. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Have a good night, boys. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Keep your sticks on the ice. Keep reaching for the stars. Let's beat the Knights and tie the record.
Bring back the Nords. Bring back the Nords.
Matt Sundin. Didn't they have Sundin, Forsberg, and then that all kind of got in the Eric Lindros trade? Or sorry, it was Sakic.
No, that was Lindros trade. Forsberg is part of Lindros trade.
Yeah.
Was Sundin a part of that?
Oh, Sundin got traded to Toronto. What was the trade there?
I think that was
Wendell Clark. Wendell Clark,
yeah,
I think
it was 93 or 94.
There was a whole shitload of people in that Lindros trade, though.
Well, Sack stayed with the team because the team got moved. So.
Yeah, there was
Sorry
more
for
than
throwing everything off the rails there, boys.
No, there was more than Peter Forsberg in that deal, though.
That he was the main piece, though.
We'll look that up for next week.
Yeah, we'll revisit that and bring back the Nords part 2.
That might have to be a whole segment. Yeah, I'll have to find somebody from Quebec City who wants to join the fold. Beautiful city. Check it out. I highly recommend. Good night, everybody.
Oh, yeah, it was Steve Duchesne, Peter Forsberg, Ron Hextall, Kerry Huffman, Mike Ricci in a first-round pick, which ended up being Tebow.
Oh, right.
And $15 million.
We're still on, eh? my computer here just totally went goofy.